This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Come on in to Toyota of Hollywood, where curiosity and extraordinary deals await you. Your golden ticket buys a 2025 Corolla, not $26,000, $17,988. And we've got sweet deals with 0% financing for 72 months, 0 down. Enter our world of wonder, and we'll show you why we're the #1 volume Toyota dealer. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
Hello, good morning. Welcome aboard, boys and girls. Yeah, we are on. All right. It is Friday, April 17th, 2026, and I got the numbers updated. It is day number 19,087 since the Miami Dolphins won the World Championship, and is day number 8,870 since the Canes won the national championship. So that gentleman that called in was chimed in, was correct yesterday. So we updated it. Sometimes what happens to me is a Monday comes over and then I look at the show sheet from Friday, and instead of adding 3 days, I add 1. So I leave those 2. Or sometimes it might be a 3-day weekend and I might even forget the 3 days in there. And so that happened with 1. And then let's see, I was 5 days off by the Dolphins and I was 4 days off yesterday by the Canes. So, well, it's really 4 yesterday. So it was 4 for both. That's what it was. And so it was weekends, which that happens to me. And so I say it every day. And then some of you out there, you go AI it to see, is it true? Has it been that exactly? And now I'm off, a couple of days so I can be corrected. But either way, it's been a long time. I think we're going to add the Heat one. Because the Heat one is going to be a long time. It's going to be it's already now building, by the way. It's building up actually quite a bit. Not where the other ones are at, but it's actually building up. Nice job, by the way, in the markets. I don't know if, again, lying stories out there. We'll see if it's actually true and people are going off that. Who knows? But we shall see what we shall see. Anyway, hope you all are doing well on a beautiful and blessed Friday. David Furones will join us here at the bottom of the hour. We'll talk a little Dolphins with him. We're a week away from the draft. Thank the Lord. It's been slow, man. It's so slow. It's so slow. And, it's just like, it's, what is there? Lie and invent. And, speaking of lying, why this is a theme, the theme of lying. I don't understand this. And then the worst part is that some of us like to be lied to. So let's look at the Heat situation. All right. Eric Spoelstra addressed the media yesterday. And he was downplaying the season and don't downplay their accomplishments. And you're a bad franchise, dude. You're a franchise about banners. I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to do, Miami Heat. And I get it that psychologically you got to play that bullshit inside your building. That's fine. But the Heat they're not close anymore. They're the Dolphins. They have become the Dolphins. And I've been telling you this for a while. And the theme of lying, instead of just, the Panthers, they are who they are. And they didn't try to tank. They tried to play through a tough season. It is what it is. At no time did they try to phrase it any other way or tell you, well, no, this is better than what it is. No, it's just brutal honesty in hockey. What's his name? Rick Bowness, right? I think it's Bowness or Bonus maybe. Bonus from Columbus. Go look at his press conference. How he talks about his team, how they don't care, how these guys, don't try. They should be embarrassed. He ripped into his team. He even said, if I'm back, this has got to change, yada, 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 all that kind of stuff. Honesty. Hockey is loaded with honesty. And then when I look at the Heat, yesterday, I see Spo's press conference and all that. And it's like, dude, stop it already. Talk about how the organization at this point is unacceptable and how you guys are failures. That's what you got to talk about, how this is not even close to good enough. Don't try to talk it up. Oh, please don't downplay what these guys have done or accomplished this season. You didn't accomplish shit, dude. You're in a considerable decline is what's happening. That's all it is. It like I've told you before, it's like Biden and Trump. They both do the same things. It's just because they're different parties, and I tell you this all the time. They both told you that the economy's great, and it's not, because you live it every day. You got to pay the gas, you got to pay your insurances, medical, energy, everything, groceries, right? And so it's like they tell you, and then they want to talk you into what's not really happening. And I really don't like LaMelo Ball. I'll call him and I'll apologize. And then you hear Bam in his press conference, no, he hasn't called. Of course, because he's a liar. And he lied about the foul. Everything, like, instead of taking ownership for shit, it's just pass the buck or dress it differently and convince the public, that, this is what we think it is. And no, it's not. This is the reality. And it's like in every walk of life, it happens. They refuse to tell you what really is going on while you know what's going on. It's the weirdest thing, dude. Dolphins, they won't say the word rebuild. We talked about this, right? I mean, it's like a theme everywhere. You won't talk about your situation and what it really is. You're in a rebuild. You've torn it completely down. It's awesome. I don't have a problem with that. I don't think you guys have a problem with that. But somehow or another, they think we have a problem with that. When we know what's actually going on, just say it, dude. You got a brand new GM. 80-85% of your personnel staff is new. You got practically another 80-85% of your coaching staff is new. You got a brand new starting quarterback. You cut practically everybody and traded whoever you can. You have very few players left. It's an absolute rebuild. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I would appreciate that instead. I think all of you do. As I said before, earlier in the week, I'd rather you rebuild than extend what isn't working. Because that's insanity. It's the weirdest thing, dude. Nobody wants to be honest, except in hockey. Except in hockey. In hockey, they're brutally honest. It is what it is. And we're going to go out there and we're going to try. We're going to play hard. And, and that's exactly what they did. And any of their young guys or guys that came up from the AHL or whatever the hell that is, they played their asses off. If they won, they won. If they lost, they lost. No game was a tank. Everything was laid out on the line. And they told you exactly what's going on in the season. What can we do? We've been ravaged by injuries. We're trying to overcome. It is what it is. Right? You know what I got happy about yesterday when I saw the Panthers? When they showed Barkov skating around and saying that he's 100%. Now that gets me excited, because then next year, and Kachuk talking about it and all that, that's what I'm talking about. It's crazy, dude. It's just, I'm not exactly sure why you're afraid to be honest with us. I don't understand that. That's kind of the theme of my show has always been brutal honesty. If we're going to talk about our teams, we're going to talk about them brutally honest. And we're not going to lie to ourselves and all that. Like last year, had a whole bunch of people lying to themselves. You had idiots coming on radio or writing, the Dolphins will start off 5-1 or 6-0 or 7-0 or 5-2. And it's like, what are you following? I get it, dude. I want them to win too, but let's wait till they actually have what it takes. It's like I told you now. I love what I see from Sully and Half so far. Only thing I can disagree is Willis. But none of it means anything. Not even the draft means anything. Okay? We could get I can't get excited about it. Only maybe the first pick with Ruben Bain or Maui Noah, if we could get me one of those guys or something like that. I could get excited, but I still don't know what you're going to be as a coach, what culture you're going to create, because that's the key. Remember, I talked about that on the show yesterday. The biggest contribution that those guys can make is how they mold the team, because if they don't mold the team, you don't win, and they all leave. Because that's what happens, right? For the last 30 years, your players leave, they go to other places and have more success. They retire winning nothing, or they just underachieve here as a team overall. And you just firing people and turning over and turning over and turning over and turning over. So you don't create anything. And we could get excited about any draft pick we want, get excited about every draft. But if they don't know how to handle the players, it doesn't matter to us. It just doesn't matter. It won't help us. So that's why the draft is the first step and all that, but it's the development of the culture of winning, of people wanting to be a part of it. And only time people want to be a part of the Dolphins is so they can come get a fat check and a no state tax. That's it. But honesty is like out the window nowadays. It's absolutely out the window. I know Spo and Riley inside that building in Harrison, they're not lying to themselves. They're mother effing the entire building. They're pissed. For sure they're pissed. But they put this fake face out there instead of talking about the truth. You're a bad organization. You know? And the Dolphins, you've been a bad organization, and that's why you're in your, actually one of the few full rebuilds you've ever had, actually. I don't think you've ever done this. It's been a long time since I've seen the Dolphins this bare. Okay? But I commend them. I think this is the one way to clean house, clean the cap, and then restart and find out if you have the right people or not. And if not, then we got to start all over again. And that's not a lie. That's the truth. What the Heat, the Dolphins, politicians, they all have a problem with the truth. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Anyway. All right. I see somebody went down for the Diana Rossini issue. Chrissy Freud. I understand what happened, and it's not just an opinion. We can all have opinions and say, yeah, they were cheating. They were doing it. Yeah. We all have, a lot of us have that opinion. I have that opinion. The problem she ended up saying is, we know, what was the quote? Let me pull up the quote. We know who you are and how you've been doing business for years or something. And so you made an accusation. And that's where I think Chrissy, I don't think she understands that part of it, unfortunately, that you can have an opinion and say, yeah, I think they were banging. I think they were banging. No man drives 125 miles out of his way from work, because where they were working in football, that was 125 miles away, to a super romantic getaway place that's $2,000 a night, and you have all those scenes for that. You can say something like that, but I think where she got burned is, don't let the door hit your way on the way out. We know who you really are and what you've been up to for years. That's where you screwed up. That's where I would tell Chrissy, if I was a friend of hers. I've had her on the show, I think, years ago at one point or another. I think I had Chrissy Freud on. I think I may have had her on maybe in the SEC media days or something like that. I think I had Chrissy Freud on or something like that. She's not a bad person, but she screwed up there, because when you say that, you're making an accusation. Now you got to back that accusation up. And that's where USA Today has got to have an issue with it, unfortunately. You can have the opinion, okay? Plenty of people think she and Vrabel were banging. Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, come on, dude. Common sense. But you can't say this is what she does all the time because you don't know that. You know what I mean? This might be her one affair that has with this guy, and maybe she was a Tennessee reporter, and maybe it was something that was a flirtation thing that was going on for a while, and then it turned into that night, or I don't know. But if you're going to say she's doing it with others, you got to have proof. We can only talk about this incident, and then we can only give our opinions on it. We don't really know. But unfortunately, the pictures, the way, the situation, everything, it leads you to one area only. There's no husband or wife that is going to think anything else but that. That's what her husband thinks. That's what his wife thinks. Now, the Vrabel wife combination, you never know, dude. Might be a relationship that there's nothing there anymore. So, or she's extremely pissed and embarrassed. It's one of the two. You know what I mean? And the same thing on the other side. I don't know what their relationship is like. Obviously, they whipped out all those videos of her that were not flattering of her husband. Sometimes it's a joke. We can all make jokes. But then if it continues and it's such a hard push, then it leaves another impression. But I think in this situation where Chrissy Freud got burned was that she not only gave an opinion, she also made an accusation that there were others. And if you do that, that's where you got to prove it. You know what I mean? If Chrissy Freud comes up with the proof, USA Today doesn't do anything. But because she made the accusation without the proof, that's the problem right there. Can't go saying that she was doing it with others until you have the proof of that. We can only comment on this one situation because we have the pictures. We have the romantic setting, all that. Listen, no female reporter should ever be in her bathing suit by the water next to a coach like that, casually like that. That's not something that will ever paint you in the right light. And any professional woman will know that right from the get-go. They'll know that that is going to, even if nothing's going on, it will look like everything is going on. You know what I'm saying? So that is where we walk the fine line. All right. Oh, man. Don't forget, folks, hit the like button. You can help us out by hitting the like button and getting the algorithms going. As always, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Send in your questions, comments, insults, whatever it takes. Appreciate you all out there. Bitcoin's pumping a little bit. We're at 77,665. So maybe making our way to 78 today. It's up 5.5%. The markets are roaring right now. The Dow is up 957 points. Pretty soon we can bring back Pam Bondi because we're 464 points away from the Dow is at 50,000. And when the Dow hits 50,000, that means there are no problems. The Heat is fine. The Heat is doing great. The Dolphins, fantastic. We're going to the Super Bowl. For sure. Guaranteed. 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 Because once it hits 50,000, there are no problems in life. Remember that. Remember that. So good day in the market, good pump. We'll see what the dump comes. Let's see. The White House, by the way, put out a release The Strait of Hormuz is completely open and ready for business and full passage, but the naval blockade will remain in full force and effect as it pertains to Iran only until such time as our transaction with Iran is 100% complete. This process should go very quickly in that most of the points are already negotiated. They're all talking about bringing back the Obama deal, basically. Anyway, they'll spin it, of course, but you know, that's kind of the way it goes. All right, what else do we have going on in the world of sports? Oh, well, we're about to get the one and only David Furones to talk a little Miami Dolphins. By the way, the Panthers, we'll get into a little bit of that. If you don't understand the lottery and all that kind of stuff, we'll explain it to you as the Panthers wrap up their season and where they're at. We got Inter Miami this weekend with their new coach, Guillermo Hoyos. What a novella that is, right? Inter Miami is a football club and a novella. It's crazy, dude. Crazy. And this one's a road game, but remember, home games, folks, never, ever, ever, ever in your life drive there. Don't. I've been warning you for a couple of months now. Do not ever drive there. Okay? If you're ever going to go to an Inter game, please take public transportation. It's actually easy and it's cheap. It's $5 to and from. That's it. You know, why risk an accident? Why take up hours of your time in a car? Gas, you know, and parking. Expensive as a mofo. Okay, because everything at that stadium is expensive, dude. Right? So trust me, the cheapest thing you'll do when you go to an Inter Miami game is take the Tri and Metro Rail. Cheapest thing that you'll do by miles. And by the way, the most efficient thing you'll do, not only the cheapest, the most efficient thing you'll do is that. How screwed up is that? So make sure you take advantage overall. Yeah. All right. What else do we have going on? Looking forward to the draft at least, so we can start talking about it next week. We'll get into it. I'll bring on some folks after the draft to kind of talk about the players. I usually do a lot of preview stuff, but this year is not a year to do a lot of preview stuff because I don't know who these guys are. I don't know how they think. They need everything, you know what I mean? So I'd rather just kind of talk about, get some of the guests on, get their opinions on what they selected. I'll give you mine. See if I find some information around the league about some of these guys. Again, none of it will mean much. It's up to them to create the meal. You know what I mean? We don't until we have the right chefs in the kitchen, it'll be Hell's Kitchen. You know, and we'll have Ramsey screaming at us like he has for 30 years because we can't get our shit together, because we don't cook the meat right. It's still raw. We didn't season this right. We didn't do that right. Whatever it is, you know how those crazy shows are. That's it. It's kind of the way it goes. All right, let's talk a little football with the one and only David Furones in our Welt and Rheaume Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rheaume Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welt and Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
Whoa! I think I got the wrong board up. There we go. Now we've got it. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, Big O. Pumped up. We're within a week from the draft, so much build up for this. It's going to be fun to see this first rookie class of John Eric Sullivan and come in and for Coach Jeff Hafley to take them in, see what they can develop these guys into, and get this thing started.
That first pick, obviously that's going to be a real defining pick for them because it's the first guy. But one of the themes that I've talked about this week, the draft really doesn't matter. You know that?
I did not know that. I had no idea.
How much did the draft matter last year and the year before and the year before that 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 and the year before that? How much did the draft matter then?
Well, it didn't matter because you didn't have good drafts. Either you didn't have good drafts or you didn't retain the talent that you drafted.
Or you don't have your Zito and Maurice to create the environment for winning, for producing, for people wanting to be a part of it. Everybody that has come before these guys has failed to create a winning atmosphere, whether it was Jimmy Johnson, whether it was Bill Parcells, whether it was Dave Wannstedt, whether it was Nick Saban, whether it was Brian Flores, whether it was Adam Gase, Joe Philbin, Mike McDaniel, whatever, and all the GMs, from Chris Greer all the way back to Jimmy Johnson, they've all failed. None of their drafts mattered at all because they didn't turn. It's what I was just giving the example before you came on that we're still Hell's Kitchen, and we have Chef Ramsay just screaming at us because he gave us all the ingredients, but we never know how to really put it together. So that's, in the end, free agency doesn't matter. The draft doesn't matter. If you don't have the right people that are not only picking the players, but developing and creating the culture, none of it matters. So we can get excited about draft picks, but the draft picks won't matter if those guys, Sullivan and Hafley, are not the real deal. You see now you understand my point?
Well, but that's not to say this doesn't matter. Now, we just don't know if it'll matter or not at this point in time. But it could very well matter. It could be
it only matters. No. You had Dan Marino and you fucked it up. Okay? All right? You had Dan Marino. You had Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, Pat Surtain, Sam Madison, and Tim Bowens. You could not get a better defensive foundation from that, and you screwed it up. You know what I'm saying? And you added Ricky Williams on the other side, but you couldn't find the quarterback. And then it just got worse and worse. So, again, none of it matters if you don't have Bill Zito and Paul Maurice or a young Pat Riley. And, I have to say it that way. Sorry, Miami Heat, but I have to go back to more of a young Pat Riley, not this Pat Riley. Yeah, the older, softer Pat Riley is not.
Maybe Pat Riley turns it around this offseason. Maybe this is finally the one where the big whale or whales are landed.
Yeah, see.
Cross some fingers.
Tú sigue con eso. Anyway, so to me, that is the key. It's the key. We could get excited about players, but man, nobody got me more excited than that guy, bro. Nobody. And it ended up in heartache.
Yeah.
Every time it ended up in heartache. And so that's why I say, temper the enthusiasm. It's great to have a nice draft, but we got to have the right people to really blossom everything together. Look at what Mario's doing, bro. Well, it's also that the administration is telling you got to have the maniac that will recruit the way Mario is recruiting 24/7, no matter what happens. But you got to have the right person to bring the culture together, and he's doing it there a lot faster and in the right direction than we've ever seen from the Miami Dolphins in the last 30 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I guess my take on that is give these guys a shot, give these guys a chance. Right. I guess that's because I'm kind of taking from what you're saying is it's not going to matter. None of it matters. But
no.
It still might. Yeah.
What I'm saying is that the draft will only matter if those guys are good. If those guys aren't good, the draft won't matter, bro. Free agency won't matter. It won't matter if we pack the stadium. It won't matter if we get enthusiastic. It won't matter if we go to practice and get all excited and all sweaty and all that, or pass out, whatever. None of it will matter if those two guys aren't the guys. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's the reality of where we're in. We could get excited about the draft, but we've done that many times. We got dude. I was explaining it yesterday, the day before, when Ricky Williams signed. The stands were packed, and there were people lined up all around the fence outside because they couldn't get in. And the Dolphins took down the green mesh that doesn't allow you to see anything through. You know what I mean? And Stu and the boys took down that stuff so people could stand there and watch Ricky. And then what happened? You know what I mean? He left to smoke more weed. That's what we have to avoid. We have to avoid all these situations. What's happened with Mike McDaniel, what's happened with Adam Gase, what's happened with Brian Flores, what's happened with Joe Philbin. All of these things is we don't know if these guys are the next that. And that's why the draft is nice, but it will only matter if those guys matter.
Yeah, I get your point. I mean, there's been so many times we've been down this road with, obviously all the Marino years and coming up empty, and then Ricky Williams. I remember I'm going into like a heavy NFL and sport consciousness in my life where I was going into middle school. I'd already been a sports fan for several years in my younger youth, but just remembering how the city was. And the whole region of South Florida was really it captured by this and excited. I didn't see maybe like what you're saying, all the fans all the way around the corner, all the way around the fencing. But that's an incredible scene that I'm picturing as you say that. And then for it to result in not even a playoff appearance those 2 seasons before he retired, when it was Culpepper brought in, and I remember seeing in ESPN the magazine, they had that team as the either AFC champion or Super Bowl champion in a preseason prediction, like going against the Carolina Panthers that year or something, with that defense and Dante Culpepper, they finally found their quarterback, this and that, to throw to Chris Chambers and Randy McMichael, and then that went nowhere, and then they're 1-15 the next year. The Peyton Manning pursuit at that time, everyone was so excited, and it scared Peyton Manning away. He said, "I'm not fucking going here." so he went to the Broncos and won a Super Bowl with them. Got to another one, even though he was a noodle arm by the time he did win that Super Bowl. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Don't go.
It's not that I want to be a Debbie Downer or anything. I'm just a brutally reality guy. I live in reality, and I've watched this over and over again. I've watched it all my life, and all you have to do is go look at why did the Heat turn the corner 25 years ago? Well, because they hired Pat Riley, and he got on a roll that was sick. The Panthers have been a joke forever, dude. Outside of the Bobby Clark years at the beginning with Bill Torrey, where they had a little bit of success right out of the expansion years. After that, they became a complete joke until they got the Bill Zitos and the Paul Maurice of the world, and until they got first Viola, of course, but then they got the right general manager and the right head coach, and now, dude, what an example! Here's a beautiful example about having the right effing people. This guy traded for Jones, the defenseman, that helped him win a Stanley Cup last year. And part of that trade was a first-round pick. And knowing how good his team was, he still didn't have the the arrogance of saying, yeah, we'll trade you the first rounder. We're not going to be a top 10. Yeah, I don't need a top 10 protected. You can have that first rounder. That son of a bitch is so smart. He top 10 protected it. You ended up number 8 this year. You kept your first rounder. The Blackhawks have to wait another year to get their first rounder for Seth Jones. And now if you come back, you'll get your first rounder now, but it'll be at number 30. You see what I'm saying? That when you have the right people in place, the moves they make, the decisions they make, the way they handle the team, the way they create the culture, that's what changes everything. You know what I mean? In the Heat, it's just gotten old, and so it got soft. And so, unfortunately, you know, they had their time, and that happens to everybody, bro. Everybody runs out of their time. You know what I mean? All the great ones at one point get old, and they kind of have to step forward, and that's kind of the way it is. But the Heat had their moment, and now we see the Panthers have their moment. And now we're watching Mario might be the right guy now who is turning it around and leading it in the right direction. That's what we don't know about the Dolphins yet.
Yeah, we just don't know. But you hope and you think maybe they did get that right guy. You don't know if down the road, John Eric Sullivan will be viewed as the Pat Riley who once led and put together those 3 NBA Finals championships and Zito. So you think there's a shot. There's a shot. It's a lot of the same people that made this decision, but when you talk about it, Stephen Ross at the top and Brandon Shore is there, but there's the infusion of Daniel Silman. He's new there. Troy Aikman was part of this search, so they got some fresh perspective from the outside.
You did a lot better. You fell off the thing with Silman, but you got back on it with Troy.
I'm just going down the list of those who are involved. So whatever you think of each person, and that's it's up to you. But at least there was some. It's some of the old regime, and and Garfinkel's there, of course, and then some new perspective as well that was brought into that core that has been there and has been through all those previous other GMs and coaches. So you got some fresh perspective, and we talked about how Troy Aikman, he was speaking on how the Dolphins use his league-wide knowledge. So maybe that's that one missing piece that they didn't have in those previous searches, and you hope that really just the wide net that they cast but in settling on Sullivan is what makes the difference in this hire. And hey, for everything I've heard from Sullivan, the moves that I've seen him make so far, I'm on board with it. I know for you, it's just a Malik Willis one, but everything else, I think he's hitting. Yeah, good,
top notch. And let me add another one to you that I like what he did. In fact, Sal on the chat board is saying trade up for Carnell Tate. I love that he said in the press conference, there's a better chance of trading down than trading up. I love that. This is not the year to trade up and give away draft compensation that you have now acquired. Okay. This is the year to acquire as much draft compensation and bring in as many young players to create a foundation. So, with Sal, I would say no shot. I'm not trading up for anybody right now if I'm the Dolphins. If anything, if I find that my draft board, some of the guys I really love are drifting a little bit down, I don't mind then trading down and picking up an extra pick or two and then still getting my guy. I love that he said that. Your thoughts on him saying more about trading down than trading up?
Yeah, that's what makes sense for a team at the first initial stage of a rebuild is you need to acquire as much talent as you can. It doesn't matter which one it is. If you see talent in a lot of different prospects, then just grab the one that you can get where you are. And if anything, you could even acquire more of those if you do move back. So, it's easy to fall in love with prospects for these top decision makers in franchises with the scouts within the organization and pounding the table for different guys. And I'm sure there are some players that he just wants so desperately that they fall to him that he will be tempted to go up and get him. But that's just what makes most sense right now, because you're not one player away. If you just needed a rookie to fill in like one key hole that you are missing, and you have this top-notch prospect that is there in this draft, and then okay, I understand that. Go ahead and move up, do what you have to do because you're so close to getting there. But right now, it's just you paint it with a broad brush of just, hey, we could take players at every position right now. So however the board plays out, we'll take what we can get there. And even if someone wants to come up to our spot, we'll take multiple players if it means we sacrifice someone who might be special at that spot, but we can go down and grab a couple of very solid guys. So I asked a question after, as we were talking about all the trade up, trade down scenarios, and because for me, I would definitely be tempted with 4 third-round picks to maybe use one of those if I wanted to move up in the second round. Let's say if from 30, I really like someone that's like in the low 20s, low to mid 20s, whatever. And I wanted to go up and make sure I could get that guy. I'm like, okay, I have 4 third-round picks. I don't need all those picks in the same part of the draft. So go ahead and use one to move up there. But at the end of the day, he could really just stay there with all those picks in the third and grab 4 guys. And then with those, you can maybe get 2 starters, a third that's like a solid special teamer / can contribute rotational type of player. If one of them's a bust, oh well, you drafted 4 in that range, so you took a lot of shots. You had a lot of field goal attempts, so eventually, you're going to get some buckets there. So that's why when I asked that, he said, "Yeah, I'm going to be tempted, but that's why I got good people to keep me grounded and make sure I keep my eyes on what really needs to be done." So I appreciate that. That's why he's making those decisions and not me, where I just be maybe a little crazy just doing what I want.
I'm with you there. By the way, Welton Rayon, proud sponsors of this segment: bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense. Remember, if you have damage to your car, home, condo, never, ever call the insurance company. I know it sounds crazy, but you call Welton Rayon first. They send their adjusters, they assess the damage, and then they attack the insurance company for you. You never have to deal with the insurance company. You never have to deal with the headaches. Just pick up a check at their offices, 954-966-4646. Somebody else says, we won't know if we have the right people at least for 2 years. I agree with that. I think after the second season, we're going to know, okay, these guys are drafting well. These guys are developing a team. They're making progress. They're looking good. I think after 2 years, we will know if they're like, this year is going to be really tough. Okay. You know what I mean? I just want to see some discipline, some structure in this season. I know you're going to get beat more often than not because you're not going to have the talent, not the experience. But by year 2, by the completion of year 2, I think we should have a good feel if we're headed in the right direction. What do you think?
Yeah, I think maybe even within that year, probably by October of that season, you start to really feel it, because we were already passing significant judgment on this past rookie class, by week 6, week 7, whatever. So I think, by then you'll really get an idea. And then, obviously the season plays out and different players can turn different ways, whether it's positive or negative from what you start off as. But by that point, you will have this rookie class with a full season, then a full off season. Then you have a free agency class next year where you could be a little bit competitive and go get some guys. They're not going to go crazy in free agency, even if, let's say, they have close to $100 million in salary cap space. We got to figure out where they stand after the Achane and Brooks and Brewer extensions, and they signed this rookie class, and maybe pick up another free agent like AJ Epinesa was just on a visit. And they can grab more guys after June 1st. But I think by then you'll have that rookie class, a second one, the free agency class with maybe like 2 big-ish moves, a couple of, some other smaller moves, and you put that together and you start to see what it is on the field. So I think, yeah, somewhere in that second season. So we're talking about like, when we do our shows in October of 2027, that's probably what we're going to be talking about, is where this regime stands at that point in time. And then, yeah, definitely by the completion of that season, we're going to have a solid picture where they are by then. By then you're going to have a vast majority of this roster is going to be their guys that they really want, and maybe some of the 1-year guys who don't make it past this season, maybe they're out of the way, and then it's another group of guys. So you're going to have the vast majority. You're going to have a core definitely by then, and some complementary pieces, and then really see where this thing is going. And you're going to find out if Malik Willis is who you want as your franchise quarterback or not. So that's going to be a key component in that as well.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely find out. I think we'll get a good feel for it 2 years from now. All right, so what's your prediction for 11?
Boy, I'm struggling so much with this one. I have to make an official prediction in the Sun Sentinel, so I have to send that probably soon after I come off with you. Perk and I were doing a mock draft, and then where we alternated picks, and the way it worked out was Bain was off the board. See, the way I would have my board for the Dolphins is if Caleb Downs, because he's a safety, somehow isn't there, go ahead and take him, like just grab him because he's the biggest difference maker. I have Bain next, but we had Bain off the board. And then Maui Noah was the one who was available. And then Perk was making that one in the alternating picks. So spoiler alert, that's who we have the Dolphins taking at 11 there. So
I agree with you, actually.
Based on that makes sense.
That's what I have us taking is Francis Maui Noah. I don't think Bain's going to be there. I think that's a whole bunch of bullshit that's going on. Everybody knows Bain is a badass mofo. You take his ass, bro. You take his ass for sure. Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, because I know Hyde is also predicting Maui Noah, so maybe I just picked Bain to be different. But I think one of those guys is going to be there, and then that's just who you take. Especially if Downs isn't there. So if both are gone, then that's where. And Mansour Delane is there. Then I'd go cornerback, and I'd go Mansour Delane.
Okay. All right, but I hope you're right and I'm wrong. I hope we get Bain.
You prefer Bain? Okay. Yeah.
I prefer Bain because he's a great player, just like Maui Noah is going to be, but he's also going to be the locker room guy, the on-field leader, the face, the tone setter. It's just so important to have the guy that's a great player and also can dial up the team. You know what I'm saying? And offensive linemen never really do that. That's not who they are. You know what I mean? No matter how great they are, they just go about their business. You know what I mean? You need that badass mofo that can talk and lead the room. And I think Bain is that guy, bro. I just think he's that dude.
No, he's a throwback Kane. He is like seriously in a time machine from like he's a Jerome Brown type of throwback, like Warren Sapp. Like he is that kind of attitude on the field.
I would say character-wise, he's actually even slightly better than Jerome, because Jerome was a guy that could move a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
But there were times when he didn't feel like moving a mountain. He doesn't have to move a mountain. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Well, where Bain is driven to pound the mountain every single time. So there were moments that he kind of would take a playoff or two, but then there were moments when Reuben Brown just destroyed mankind. You know what I mean? By the way, to a lesser extent, that's what Daryl Gardner was, because he was never as good as Reuben. Like Reuben was pretty consistent, but he had some valleys in his thing. But Daryl Gardner had some peaks and real valleys. You know what I mean? It was like really bad, and that's where that's the part that would piss you off about Daryl Gardner. But when Daryl Gardner wanted to play, there was nobody that could block him. You know what I mean? And that's who that guy was. When we talk about Brown, that guy was amazing. Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, and Ruben Bain would take on such a pride for his city to have come out of Miami Central, play for the Miami Hurricanes, stay in that same stadium at Hard Rock Stadium, and put on for the Dolphins. I mean, I'm sure he'll have a whole section at every home game of just his friends and family. He would try to put on for the 305, to the utmost, and
that's why I want him a little bit over Maui Noa, because he brings that other thing that the Dolphins need besides great players. They also need that guy, dude.
An attitude.
That Nick Bonacani, that guy, that Manny Fernandez, that Tim Bowens, that nasty son of a bitch that just doesn't let up. They haven't had that guy in a long, long time. Brian Cox was like that too. This guy I think is going to be better than Brian Cox. I have a lot of enthusiasm for Ruben Bain. Whoever gets him is going to get themselves an absolute complete stud, dude.
Yeah.
That story was complete horseshit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, I mean, it was something that happened, but just you have to put the right perspective and context to, hey, it's something that, like you said, could happen to anyone. But no, I mean,
bro, Haywood Highsmith is a fantastic kid, dude. A fantastic kid. And he ruined some man's life accidentally. I mean, he screwed up. But he wasn't drunk driving. He wasn't driving 150 miles an hour. He has zero track record of being a jerk or an idiot. Haywood Highsmith is a fantastic young man, and so is Ruben Bain. They have no history of this. If they had a history, then we can kind of question something. But there's zero history before, after, whatever, bro. It's a brutal mistake that I can make tomorrow. I hope not. But any of us could make that mistake, unfortunately. Sad.
Yeah. So, and what I was also going to say is, based on everything I've seen from Coach Jeff Hafley, like they would mesh well. If he had Ruben Bain on his defensive line, and especially him being a defensive guy, if he got that first pick and could just put him in the trenches on the edge, fill a need, and someone who fits. If they want to run a base 4-3, then I mean that 4-3 defensive end is what he was doing at Miami, coached by Jason Taylor too. That's who he learned his technique from. Then plus their personalities, I think Hafley would just love having a guy with Bain's attitude on there to be that first defensive stalwart for this team.
Yeah, I'm a huge Ruben Bain fan, dude. That guy has completely won me over. Don't forget, folks, follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. What are you working on here leading into the draft next week?
Yeah, we actually, myself and Chris Perkins, we just put out a big Dolphins deep dive. Our last one, I think, I think it'll be it was a full draft preview we did. So all Dolphins perspective, plus talk some Devon Achane. Big O, Sully took it completely off the board this time. He said no. He said he's not available for trade.
Okay. All right. Let me just.
I reeled you back in. Sorry.
Let me just bring you back because I have history. I have experience. I've been at this for a long time. I've been there where Dave Wanstead's telling me, no, nothing's going on. Everything's fine. Daryl Gardner just missed practice. He'll be fine. He's having an epidural. We find out. Because he has back issues. Pat Riley tells me, no, we're not making any moves whatsoever. And he did that at least 3 or 4 times, and trades happen the next day. You know what I'm saying? So they lie like crazy. Or this is what I said. Has the signing happened yet?
It is not. There's positive developments. There's positive developments. They're moving in the right direction.
Yeah. Which, hey, we're moving in a positive direction, but we got a deal that we can't turn down, and we appreciate Achane. He's very important. He's an amazing player, but we're trying to build something long term, and this is a deal that can help the team. And I've been through it all. Now, I until after the draft, about, within a couple days after the draft, it's over. He's staying. Okay. Once we see that no team, the team maybe that could be interested either got or didn't get their running back, that's the team or two that is going to trade for Achane. So right after the draft or right on the third day, they'll either trade for Achane or not, or we keep him and we move forward. But to me, I love the way he's playing it, because he said from the get-go he was building with Achane and Waddle, and he traded Waddle. And
it was a little different what he said with Waddle. He wasn't.
He said it.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He said it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So,
right. There was a pivot with Waddle, but he was a little softer on Waddle than he was Achane. And now he took all the way the firmest stance that you can on Achane. So. Yeah,
but again, there's no deal until there's ink drying on that paper. I don't believe a damn thing any of them ever say. Okay. And you should have that same attitude, because you will get burned over and over and over again. They all lie, and they have to lie. It's not because they're liars. It's professionally the right thing to do, bro. You can't tell the media it's like draft preview, pre-draft press conferences. What are they going to tell you? Sully himself was like, I don't even want to talk about positions. Yeah. I don't want to give anything, because dude, they're not going to give anything away. You know what I'm saying? So until I see the ink dry, I won't believe it. But I'm telling you, I've stayed steadfast on this, it's going to happen after the draft, isn't it? Didn't I tell you every time now? Didn't I tell you?
Yeah.
Every time. If there was any truth to this, it would have happened before the draft already. But it hasn't, because he's responsible. I love it. He's holding out and he's staying strong. Like, dude, you want one of the 5 best running backs in the NFL? Bitch, you got to pry it from me. You better give me something. And here's the caveat to all of this. Okay. You didn't have to really pay Waddle a ton, because they had already paid the signing bonus. So you were only carrying the salary. Here, you have to trade for Achane and give him the salary and signing bonus. That's the hurdle right now, because this is the worst position to trade in the NFL, running back, the most interchangeable position in all of pro sports is running back. So it's hard to trade for a running back that you also have to pay. And that's really the hurdle with Achane more than anything else, because they want really good compensation, but it's hard to get really good compensation when you have to also pay the player.
Yep, that's fair. But I mean, if he's making this statement, wouldn't it also, it could have the reverse, if what you're saying is true, that he wants to say, oh, you need to pry him from me, it could have the reverse effect of a team just saying, hey, he said he's not available, we won't make another call, we'll respect that. So
I think that's great hardball, because he's a great player. So, dude, I'm keeping him. Okay. Now, if you want to pry him from me, you're gonna have to give me like the same thing he did with Waddle. I thought he did great with Waddle.
Oh yeah.
I think a moron turns down a first and a third for Waddle.
Yeah.
And he was really smart and took it. So I thought I think he's doing the same thing. But it won't happen, because it's a running back, dude. It won't happen because it's a running back.
But
I love that he's holding out till after the draft. Smart, bro. Smart. It's super smart. I commend him. You know what I mean?
I mean, what he said before, I thought left a little bit of the door open, but this time I feel like he just shut that little slight, door ajar space. I feel like he just shut it down this time.
That's the message to the people that I've called. Brother, I keep telling you, you ain't offering enough. And I love that. That's what that statement was. If there was a team or two interested in Achane, it's kind of like sending it, no, man, I'm sorry, we're keeping him. We're serious about keeping him. But if you want him, pay up. And that's it. And so if they don't get their running back in the draft and they think they're an Achane away from that's the question that I've been trying to think of. Who is an A-Chan away from a title?
I'd have to go through the teams. Yeah.
That's the question that you have to ask, because the only team that would trade for A-Chan, because they have to give up picks and a contract, has to be a team that says, we're that mofo away from a title. We need to go get him right now. And that's, I was thinking about Seattle, because what would they give a shit about giving up a couple of picks? You know what I mean? Because their team is loaded. And hell, they do such a great job drafting in the second half of the draft that, if they had to give up early picks or something, it may not be something that's a big deal for them. And for that offense to add that player, something like that. I don't know who, but I'm just thinking that's the only person that would be crazy enough to trade for A-Chan is the team that thinks they're one A-Chan away from winning it all. So, what's it called? Jeff in Long Island says the Cowboys.
Them, yeah, and then there's also like the Jordan Brooks conversation with them. I know in Dallas they definitely want to go after Brooks, but yeah, I see it kind of in the same boat.
I don't know if I would consider the Cowboys an A-Chan away from the.
No, yeah, they're not an A-Chan, right? That's the key thing.
That's the only thing I disagree with
yeah.
on that one. I don't think they're an A-Chan.
I mean, their offense would be tremendous when you have CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens and A-Chan, with Dak. Like that would be a tremendous offense. But
yeah.
I
don't know if that defense is where it needs to be a championship defense, overall. That's where I look at it and I say, okay, is there a team out there that I'm not thinking of that, might be the one? If not, it's not going to happen really in the end, because it's running back. It's different. I got to pay him and trade. So,
yep.
All right. We have a great weekend, my brother. We will catch up on Tuesday, my friend.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah. One more show before the draft.
Amen. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. There he is, the one and only David Furones.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
All right. Remember, the consultation's always free when you call our guys at Welton Rayom. So if you're having bankruptcy issues or you had some kind of damage to your home, condo, car, explain it. And they'll tell you if you have a case, you got hurt somewhere, slip and fall, something, explain your case, and then they'll tell you if they can help you. Consultation's completely free. 954-966-4646. And Acura of Pembroke Pines will be there actually next Friday, hanging out with Larry Schlossberg and the boys. Larry's a good dude. They've got the Spring into Performance sales event going on right now. The 2026 Integra is $249 a month. The 2026 ADX is $319 a month. The MDX, $499 a month, only 3.9% financing for 60 months. That Integra, 2.9% financing for 60 months. And the ADX, 3.9% financing for 60 months. Tell them that Big O sent you. Promise you, man, they will take care of you. Great people out there. They've got a fleet of certified pre-owned vehicles. So if you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, they can take care of you at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. All right. Thank you all out there. Remember Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker. Thank you for the love on Venmo, sir. He says you were right. Dow 50K and the Herald reports A-Chan in the building. I saw your prayer hands. Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I'm shocked that the Dow is up here. I have a hard time believing everything that's going on in the Middle East and everything that's coming out of the White House and all that kind of stuff. So, I just kind of feel, plus the big print is coming and everything. So I think we're headed for some horrible crap. I would love to think positive about it, but it's hard. So I can't say I'm right about that. I'm going to say I'm dead wrong about that. I didn't think it would bounce back like this. I think we're getting suckered, but it is what it is. It took Kid Rock and Trump charisma. We got you to pray, even if fully, sir. Got to start somewhere. Yeah, I don't have a lot of hope for that craziness that's going on there, buddy. Yeah. I appreciate it, but no, I don't see it that way. I see a lot of lies and a lot of deceit is what I see. But anyway, it is what it is. We'll all find out in the end. All right, let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. No more hockey, no more basketball. Times are rough. Anyway, the Inter Miami club with Guillermo Hoyos as the new head coach since they fired their last one. Again, well, they will visit Colorado on Saturday at 4:30. Colorado plus 280 on the money line. Inter Miami, the telenovela, is minus 120. Wednesday, the ladies are back in action. Fort Lauderdale United, they are visiting the DC Power FC at 7 o'clock. WNBA player Nafisa Collier signs a 1-year Supermax deal with Minnesota worth $1.4 million. And the Panthers, they ended up with the 8th worst record in the NHL this season. They end up with a 6% chance to win the NHL draft as they finish top 10. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. Let's see what we got here. Jeff in Long Island. Thank God it's Friday. I agree. Kosa. Jaybird in the house. Thank you, Jaybird. Smash it. Support our great sponsors. What else? Oscar Rojas, good morning to you. Big Johnson. We don't buy the BS with the Dolphins. We get the real news here. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Very nice. Let's just hope that these are the guys. You know what I'm saying? It's what we need. We need that Sully and half are the guys. And it's, you think about it, right? What I told Furones, and I've talked about it. We can watch the draft, but it won't mean anything if those aren't the guys. We could get excited about all the draft things that they do individually, whether one guy snatches 10 interceptions in a year, another guy throws 48 touchdowns and 5,000 yards, another guy gets defensive player of the year, another guy leads the league with 1,800 yards and a bunch of touchdowns, and all these individual accomplishments that we see. Zach Thomas racks up 287 tackles every season or something, but collectively it led to nothing. And that is the real problem. And that's what we got to overcome. It's not about the draft. It's not about free agency. It's not about having the money. It's not about having the stadium. It's not about having the place where people want to play. It's not about having a no tax state. No. It's about those two dudes, the general manager and the head coach. If they're not the right guys, none of it works. None of it works. It's just crazy. So that's really what it comes down to. All the other stuff is fluff because it doesn't happen without those two guys. It's crazy. Gus 1388, true Finn fan. NorCal is in. By the way, I've got the links up to help out NorCal, raising money. It's on Twitter, it's on Blue Sky, it's on Threads, it's on LinkedIn, it's on both my Facebook pages, Orlando Alzieri and Big O Show. So all of it is there. So make sure you help out my man NorCal and raising money. So make that donation, folks. All right. Alexis Palenzuela's in the house. Oscar's loving the Bitcoin pump. We're at 78, by the way. I think we hit 78 while we were on live here with we're right there now. Let's see. Here we go. Let's bring it up. Love it. See, we hit 78. Well, why don't we hit it again? Huh? Why don't we hit 78? There we go. See? You ask and you shall receive. You know, brought it up at 77, 9. There it is again. Go get back to 78. Get your ass back to 78. 3, 2, and 1. Pop. Come on. Anyway, so there you go. Doing good. Doing good today. What's it up? Can't read it from there. It's up 5%. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. What else do we have here? Oscar, NorCal, just heard Gabby Rose cover of 46.2 by Tool on her saxophone. She's amazing. Check her out. I will. Thank you, NorCal. Thank you for all the music suggestions that you sent me, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you. Rusty Rags, in Dolphin Dave. What else? Technique. Nope. Stephen Harris. What else? Good morning. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I don't blame you, Stephen Harris. There hasn't been much going on, dude. You know what I'm saying? So I know how it is, man. I know how life goes. It's not that interesting. Screw Big O. I don't need to go see him, whatever. I don't need to, there's Dolphins aren't doing anything right now until the draft. The Panthers are out. The Heat are out. There's nothing going on. Nobody cares about the Marlins. Nobody cares about Inter Miami. So I get it, dude. I totally understand being abandoned and people going off and having a life and doing some other stuff. There's not a lot of exciting stuff going on in sports. And I respect that, dude. I get it. We'll fight through it. I fought through COVID, man, and there were no sports at times. So it's just, I'm used to ups and downs and peaks and valleys, and that's how it goes. And, people come and go. And, there are some hardcores that hang in there. And, Steven, you're a hardcore because you're coming back. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Jeff in Long Island, Anthony Kyle Campos, bless you, my brother. Rebuild is a killer word for owners when they're trying to sell property tickets. Yeah. It's just I don't like doing that to you all out there. If I see something, on radio stations sometimes, or maybe even beat writers, they don't want to be brutally honest because it will hurt them. You know what I mean? Like, it'll hurt me too by being brutally honest about it. Oh my God, no, he's just negative. No, I'm just being honest. You just can't handle it. But it's all right. It's cool. You turn me off. That's fine. I get it. People get sensitive about it. It's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough to deal with reality, Reporters and debate reports is becoming what he said and she said. Yeah. But that's where the Chrissy Freud girl screwed up. You can have an opinion, say, yeah, no, it looks like they were banging because it looks like it. I mean, come on. If you're a guy What guy does all of that for just nothing? Come on, bro. You know, but you can't say, "Oh, we know who you are and what you've been doing for a while." And that's when you're like, you got to have proof now at that point. You know, if you say she's sleeping around with everybody, now you got to have proof about that. This one, we can all comment and say, what do we think is going to what was happening here? I mean, two people hugging, looking at the rocks and, the mountain. And I mean, that's the kind. I saw that place and I was thinking, damn, I should take my wife there. I hope Vrabel has taken his wife to nicer places. Anybody married? I don't know if you could go to your wife and you've never taken her to a place that's like that, $2,000 a night, that romantic. You've been taking her to the Best Western and shit and the La Quinta. Honey, we're staying at south of the border. Isn't it hot? And then you're with Rossini over at that place, So I pray for Mike Vrabel that he has pampered his wife even better, because when she sees that, she says, wait a minute, you've never taken me to a place like that. Oh, man, I can't imagine. Can't imagine. But that's where Chrissy Freud screwed up. You can't make the extended allegations and then not have any proof. And then that's where USA was put in it. It's corporate, man. That's the beauty of what I do. I'm not tied to any corporate. I don't work for a corporation, So, what else? Ty in the Bronx, good morning to you. Jake from Pallettown. Beach Ultimate Frisbee Masters Nationals in Virginia Beach is 3 weeks ago, and that nobody but me cares. LOL. Sal, thank you for chiming in during the interview, my friend. Trent, we won't know if we have the right people exactly. I read that during the thing. That's right. Who else? Mauricio, the key to the rebuild is the player development. You can have great drafts, but if you can't develop these players, this rebuild will be the same way as others. I love smart, patient, intelligent fans that get it. That's what I am. I'm obviously still here, so I'm patient as hell, but I'm going to talk about the reality of it. And nobody talks about this. I'm the only one that talks about this. Has any writer locally, beat writer, anything, anybody pointed out exactly what I pointed out? It's great to draft and it's great for free agency, but see, my man Mauricio knows exactly what I'm talking about. None of it will matter because you got to have the right coach and you got to have the right GM. This guy didn't have the right GM. He had a horrible GM. Not a average GM, not a decent GM. No. Shula was horrible. Horrible. He is, without the cheating, a lot like Belichick. They both sucked drafting, but they were great at coaching and developing whatever they had, at least. But they sucked at drafting and trading. Okay? Although Belichick did pretty good in trading away players before they got, but Shula was terrible at trades. Terrible. With Marino, we just got lucky. So, doesn't matter. None of it matters. So, I don't want the empty stats. I want the collective success. Jason Taylor, Defensive Player of the Year. That's fantastic. Collectively, what happened? Zach Thomas had a lot of tackles. Collectively, what happened? Marino threw for a lot of yards and touchdowns. Collectively, what happened? Cam Wake had a lot of sacks. Collectively, what happened? Tim Bowens was a pillar of stability. Collectively, what happened? So this is the wrong thing, Jay Ajayi and Lamar Smith and Ricky Williams busted out some sweet seasons. Collectively, what happened? That's the key, man. That's the key. That is the key to everything. Let's see who else. Daniel Guzman. Happy Friday to you, sir, from beautiful. It is beautiful, Destin, Florida. It is a beautiful place. Destin, Florida is one of the more underrated cities in Florida. How about that line for you, Mr. Daniel Guzman? Okay. I've been to Destin, Florida. And I'm telling you, that's one of the most underrated cities that we have in our state. Beautiful place to go enjoy yourself, relax. Telling you, Destin is a really, really cool place. So he is right. Okay. Enjoying the show and getting a little work done. Blessings. Let's see. Panthers seem like an interesting choice for Achan. I don't know if they're not an Achan away. If I'm the Panthers, I would not make that trade because they're not an Achan away. They're pretty good, but they're not an Achan away. That's the only thing. I may have missed it. Is Manny Navarro hopefully will return next month. Okay, we're in the middle of making some changes on the show. Let's see what else. Big O, I can't thank you enough for your show and friendship over the last 20 years. Love you, brother, man. Always will be the same way, my man. We always got each other's back. I appreciate you. Stephen Harris, Big O, don't feel like that. I still support your show no matter what. I love you, brother. It has nothing to do with it, but I don't. Stephen, I'm not married to any administration like you are, dude. That's all. I think that both Democrats and Republicans are dog shit. Sorry, dude. The guy that's in office has printed $10.7 trillion to our debt. He has printed alone a quarter of our debt. We have $39 trillion in debt. Trump alone has printed 10.7. Biden did 8.4 on his own in 4 years. This guy's at 10.7 in his 5th year. We got 3 years left. Sorry, brother. I'm not a fanboy. I see what's going on. I don't care if your name is Danielle Levacava or Joe Biden or AOC or Trump or Biden or any of this shit. I don't believe in any of them, dude. They're all shysters. So, love you, brother, but you're never going to come. I'm a Bitcoiner. I know exactly what they're all doing to us. Both sides. I don't choose sides, if you've noticed. So it has nothing to do with any of that. I don't care about any of these people. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about us. They don't care about you, dude. The guy you love, he just said, hey, we can't pay for daycare. We got wars to fight. Well, I thought you voted for no more wars. I thought you voted for no more spending. You know what I mean? It's like, they're all lies, brother. They're all lies. So don't believe the hype, And most people aren't tied to the stock market. So most Americans are struggling, man, big time. Nobody's doing better. None of these presidents have made us better since 2001. And there's been 2 Dems and 2 Republicans. I'm an equal opportunity hater of both because I see what both are doing. So, yeah, dude, the big picture is so terrible. And that's the part that, Stephen, you're not realizing, my brother. I feel bad. I feel bad because there's a lot of Americans like you that really don't understand how bad things are and how bad they're getting and how much better it's getting for the rich. Maybe you're rich. I don't know. But it's not a good thing, dude. It's not a good thing. What's going on? Best Western in La Quintana. If she's down for that, she's a keeper. Well, that's because we can afford that. I certainly can't afford what Rossini and Rabel were staying at. I don't know about you guys. Maybe Stephen Harris can afford a $2,000 a night play, but I can never afford that. $2,000, and that means I'm staying in that hotel for like 3 weeks, right? At La Quintana. Anyway, Big O, I saw your clip on the TDS. That was pretty funny. Reminds me of our beloved Frankie. Yeah. The Tua derangement syndrome is hilarious. You should check out that video, and don't forget to hit the likes on it. Okay. The problem with all of this is that when I bash a Dem, they lose their minds. And when I bash a Republican or Trumpies or whatever, they lose their mind. And then they think it's only them that I'm picking on when, it's whoever's in charge. I killed Biden for 4 years, doing the same thing now. Nothing's changed. Pat in Nashville says, know where you got that shirt. Oh, I'm going back to Vegas for a meeting in June. Better believe I'm eating there. Although this one is Arizona, baby. This one's Arizona. I have Vegas. I have Zona. I have... It's another state I have. It's another one. I don't know if it's Washington. What, Nevada, California, Arizona. No, I have a fourth state. I got to look at my shirts. But yeah. Whenever I go to a new In and Out in another state, I usually buy it. So you still haven't had it, huh, Ted? One day, my brother, one day. They're in Tennessee now, actually, because of the idiot in California. See, Stephen Harris? You watching? Because of the idiot in California, they moved their offices out of California, and they went to Tennessee. So, yeah. Now, so if you're close to Tennessee, to Nashville, by the way, go to social media or online and go look at the first day that In-N-Out Burgers opened up in Nashville. It's like 200 cars in line. Like the last car needed to refill their tank by the time they got their food. Nuts, man. But it's a good place. I enjoy In-N-Out Burger. Some people don't like it at all. What can I tell you? But as for fast food, I think it's one of the best. I love it. Jay Leno was always my favorite comedian. I always thought he wasn't more popular because he made fun of both Dems and Republicans equally. Yeah, it's not a good thing to do. It's not a good thing to do. I don't give a shit. So if you don't want to listen because of that, that's your problem. You can't handle it. You're too sensitive. Get your wussy ass out of here. You know what I mean? I don't really care. But don't paint the picture like I only pick on one side. That's the only thing I don't like. That's the only thing. But that usually happens from some tight ass that, can't handle the truth about their party. And then they think that you're only biased against one. And that's all they ever hear. They don't really hear me pick on everybody, because I do pick on everybody. Because they're all screw-ups. None of them do it right. Not one of them. Okay. Big O, do you like the Waffle House and Cracker Barrel? Cracker Barrel, yes. Waffle House is, come on, man. Waffle House is what you have when you're dead ass drunk and you like, oh man, I got to have something now or I'm about to like die and I'm settling for Waffle House. Or I'm starving, I'm on the road and there isn't anything to eat and just a Waffle House. You know what I'm saying? If I'm having Waffle House, it's because I couldn't go to IHOP. I couldn't go to Denny's. I couldn't go to a lot of other places that I'd rather go to. You know what I'm saying? Like Waffle House is one of the last places you will catch me. Now, the Cracker Barrel, I can go there anytime. New logo, old logo, I don't care about their logos. I just like their food. Okay? Don't even know why there was a big logo. Why even change the logo? Just leave the damn logo. But whatever. But Cracker Barrel, now that's breakfast. Okay? That's breakfast, bro. That's a good American breakfast right there. That is a classic American diner in a chain way. They're the closest to doing it. I like the Cracker Barrel. Big time fan of the Cracker Barrel. Okay. Waffle House. Come on, man. You're kind of broke. Waffle House. You're kind of desperate. Waffle House. There's no other options. Waffle House. That's kind of where I'm at with Waffle House. Okay. Cracker Barrel. That's a pleasure to go to Cracker Barrel. I love Cracker Barrel. What else? Waffle House is Denny's and IHOP, but they're great after a drunken Uber ride. Exactly. That's what they are. Cracker Barrel is like you're going with your wife on a Sunday morning to go have a nice breakfast. That's the way I look at the Cracker Barrel. Like I feel like, okay, I'm going to a solid place that's going to cook me a really good breakfast, a class-ass breakfast. For me, that's what I love about the Cracker Barrel. So, yeah, I love it. Big O, politicians from both sides have perfectly crafted the always blaming the other side and pointing out their problems. It nicely covers up their own corruption and BS. Exactly. The deal that they're trying to talk about now with Iran is the same exact deal that Obama had in place. After all of this, it's all the same crap. One side, the Dems take down statues because some of these people were racist. Everyone was racist 100 years ago and 200 years ago and 300 and 400 years ago. And then the Republicans, they alter history. What's the difference? Both want to alter history. You can't do either. You got to teach it. Yeah, General E. Lee did a lot of good shit. And yes, he was a racist. Teach it. Yeah, we were idiots. We used to go out on the street. There wasn't a street. It was just dirt. And we'd settle our differences in a gunfight. Yeah, we don't do that anymore. Well, kind of. Don't do that normally anymore. Yeah. There were cavemen. We started somewhere and it was bad. And then, go check out the Roman era. They did a lot of disgusting stuff. We don't do any of that anymore. You kind of live, learn, but that's what history is there for, to teach it, not to hide it. Both sides do it. You know what I mean? It's all of Brett is 1,000% right. It's all a charade, dude. They all do the same things, exact same things. They dress it up differently and then they sucker each side to be cheerleaders about it. He gets it. Publix market, supermarket deli. That's solid always. I agree. The Sunrise Sampler, says Chad. Oh, my sister was born in a Waffle House. It's a hell of an establishment. So if your wife is pregnant and you want to induce labor, send her to Waffle House. All that grease spits out the kid. I like it. It makes sense. Makes a lot of sense if you're kind of close and you got a game coming up and you want to go to the game and she's kind of like there and you're a couple days away. You're like, honey, let's go to Waffle House. You take her to Waffle House, boom, within minutes after having the meal, oh, my water breaks, all that. You take her to the hospital, you have your kid, or maybe you have it right there in the Waffle House. You're fortunate enough. That way you can take a side of, hash browns on the way. It's pretty good. Not bad. Maybe they'll cook the placenta right there. Not bad. So I like it. Waffle House induces pregnancy. I didn't know that. You learn something every day on this show. Every day you learn something. That the Waffle House induces pregnancy. But with all that grease, slip, slide, and away. Yeah, I like it. I like it. When I think of any politician, I think of Metallica's first album, Kill 'Em All. Oh, thank you, NorCal, for the laugh. I appreciate you. What is the best South Florida paper for neutral reporting? Thinking of subscribing to one. Both Herald and the Herald Sun Sentinel and the Palm Beach Post. Bro, they all have good writers. They all do a good job. I'm not gonna pick and choose any of them. They're all good dudes, bro. They all do their jobs. We can agree and disagree. It's sports. It's not a big deal. Some people take it all really freaking personal or whatever, but nah, you just subscribe to whoever you want, my brother. Subscribe to the one that has the deal going on. That's what I would do. Let's see. DQ Hot Dog, Big O. That's the last place. Yes. Yes. Ted says Jones Beach Amphitheater, great venue. Okay, good to know. There's a place called Berry Fresh in the PSL. So good, all fresh. Definitely recommend it if you're ever up there. Thank you, Chad. Thank you. Yes, the Dairy Queen Blizzard is legit. Just don't have the hot dogs. That's all I can say. John Padilla is hungry because we were talking about the Waffle House. All right, just don't take anybody pregnant with you. All right, John? Make sure you don't take anyone pregnant with you. It's very important. You don't want to, Plus, this is a new thing that we've uncovered here on the show. All right? Remember, if you got like something coming up and you don't want the pregnancy to get in the way, take her to the Waffle House a few days before. That's it. If you follow politics and get educated, you'll see what the difference is. They're both terrible. Breaded and fried placenta is the only way to go. I agree. Shake and bake. Perfect. Yep. I saw my wife's placenta. It looked like a big giant liver, by the way. That's what it looked like. That's all it was. Big giant liver. I don't know how many of you had the honor and the pleasure of being in the delivery room. I think they're not doing it anymore, or sometimes they don't, or some places do, some places don't, or something. You guys can walk me through that nowadays. Mine was, 27 years ago. I cut the umbilical cord and all that kind of stuff. I filmed it all. I put a camera up, a camcorder. I'm old. I put my camcorder up to record. I've told this story before. So I put the camcorder up to record. We're doing the whole delivery. And so I start seeing the head come out right there. And I go, wait. And the doctors and the nurse, they all look at me. My wife's there. And I already had my prediction. We never knew the sex of our child. So if you want to know about all my sports predictions, so I turn to the doctor and the nurse and I go, what's it going to be? One said a boy, the other one said a girl. I told them I knew from the get-go I was having a girl. Boom. But they kind of freaked out. And I said, hey, prediction for the camera. What is it? in the middle of labor. Come on, I need a prediction. What is it? What is it? And I go, here comes my baby girl. Boom. So when you see me make sports predictions and they come up and they happen, and you're like, how the hell did he do that? Now you know. I predicted my daughter from the get-go. From the get-go. When she told me she was pregnant, I go, we're having a baby girl. How do you know? I go, I don't know what to tell you. I just feel it. It's there. And boom. So there you go. What else do we have? Waffle House is also great to clear up constipation or extend it for several days. Oh, what else? I've had that DQ hot dog, no issues. Well, Alexis, you have an ironclad stomach, my brother. You have a great stomach, I got to tell you. I mean, I thought my stomach was pretty good, but no, I couldn't handle that damn DQ hot dog. That thing was terrible. Chad says, I was there for both of mine, cut the cord and saw the placenta. I'm with you. Doesn't it look like a big giant liver? That's what it looked like. Ever tried placenta helper? Beats the shit out of hamburger helper. Oh, Nathan's hot dogs I'm good with. I'll have a Nathan's hot dog. Do you know what I love from Nathan's? Believe it or not, I love their fries. I think their fries are fantastic at Nathan's hot dogs. So whenever the only time I really find myself having a Nathan's hot dog, to be quite honest, is when I go to Coney Island. Because that's, I think, the last 2 times I've had a Nathan's hot dog, it was at Coney Island. But I've had it before traveling around, and I love having the fries. They give you that little fork, that little red fork, long, skinny fork, and then I use it to pick the fries. Oh, God. Their fries are good, man. Their fries are good. They do a nice job with their fries. Nice job. Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker. Thank you, sir. He says, Trump uses first, Trump family first, but God uses the unlikely to carry out his purposes. You mean like the first Liberty, Trump Liberty, where he stole hundreds of millions of dollars from people? Like that? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, Trump first. There's no doubt. And yeah, he's so God awareness, huh? Yeah, he's really religious. Tell him to tell you his favorite verse. Oh, it's too funny. The crinkle fries are underrated. See, Chad's with me on the fries. The fries from them are absolutely fantastic. Yes. Primo Italian sausages. Are you talking about at the hot dog place? Oh, I've never had them, so I can't speak for that. All right, that would I'll leave it to you guys there, because that one is out of my jurisdiction, as they say. What else do we have going on? And thank you again. I appreciate you immensely, Stephen Baker. Thank you. By the way, where are we at? We're at 77,549. Sell it all. Sell it all. The Dow is up 1,026 points. The S&P's up 94. And the NASDAQ is barely down. Barely down. Oh, okay. What? Oh, you're talking about? Oh, really? Wait a minute. You could get Nathan's fries in the Publix. Oh, but wait a minute. But is it the same? You know what I'm saying? I get it. They're in the frozen section. I've seen the White Castle burgers in the frozen section. And White Castle, okay, it's kind of desperate stuff. But if I'm just going to have my White Castle, I'm going to go get it fresh from White Castle. I don't know if I'm going to buy it frozen. I don't know if that's any good. I'll take your word for it. You know what I mean? He says they're pretty close. Is there a trick to how you microwave them? What is it? Air fryer, what is that called? Air fryer, right? Is it called an air fryer? What do you do? Because my daughter she's not as much into microwave anymore as she is into the air fryers. It does everything better than the microwave. So she's big on that. But she's kind of a cooking freak. I'm not. I don't really know much about this kind of stuff. The only thing I run into is when I see them watching the cooking shows, and then I watch it there for a minute and then I walk away. Because I'm not really much into watching cooking. I can't watch cooking shows. All you're doing is making me hungry, bro. You're pissing me off. You're making all this good shit, and I can't eat any of it. And then I'm hungry and I want to eat. So I don't want to watch cooking shows. They're just going to make me hungry, bro. White Castle was great in the 80s. I prefer Crystal. We had a Crystal in Broward, dude. I'm so pissed we lost that Crystal. What was it on Sunrise? Was it on Sunrise Boulevard between 95 and US 1? And it was like halfway in between. I want to say it was either Sunrise or Oakland Park Boulevard or no, it wasn't Oakland Park. I think it was Sunrise. Yes, it was. Yeah, because you come right through the cars, all those dealerships, and then it splits where the Sears is at, and then you keep going. Yes. It was Sunrise. I'm pretty sure it was Sunrise where we had a Crystal, and it's gone. And you know what? I would visit that Crystal every once in a while. If I had a White Castle or a Crystal down here, I would visit it once in a while. Treat myself to those little burgers. We used to have a Royal Castle when I was a kid on Southwest 8th Street and 27th Avenue. That corner store there that used to be a Marlin store, and it's been all kinds of shit right next to the theater. That was a Royal Castle. That was a Royal Castle in the early 70s, dude. And it was heaven because right one block away from it, okay, you had your Royal Castle and you had a Krispy Kreme. It's been a funeral home forever. Since the Krispy Kremes closed down in the 70s. I want to say Krispy Kreme on Southwest 8th Street closed maybe in 1977, 78 or something like that. And then it became a funeral. It's been like two different funeral homes, I think, during that time. But it was a Krispy Kreme. So can you imagine as a kid getting a burger and a donut? I mean, like you're in heaven before you even died. I haven't even died yet, and I went to heaven years ago when I was a child. So, yeah. I miss Royal Castle. God, I miss Royal Castle. Force says, just follow instructions. They were pretty good. Don't microwave. Air fryer, huh? You're air frying the bitch. I like it. Okay. The French door toaster oven air fryer is the move. Well, Chad is one of those chef guys. That's a chef-ass move right there. See, my dumb ass would never even know what the hell that is. Okay, I couldn't even bring that crap up. I can't even work an air fryer. So, he's probably one of those guys that watches those cooking shows and has the education. That sounds like it. Because a dumbass like me would not know anything like that. Ain't nothing like a Crystal, gut buster, and a Waffle House bursting chili keeps the wife on her side of the bed. Hot dog heaven in Davie, anyone? See, now that it looks like it's not going to be the Dairy Queen. That looks like a place that, they know their shit there, right? There's several Crystals up here in Central Florida. All right, Stephen Harris. So one day, you and I are going to meet when I'm in Central Florida, you bastard. When you hear that I'm up there, say something so we can meet up. And we'll meet at Crystal's on me. I'll treat you to Crystal's. How about that, Steven? All right? So when you hear that I'm going to Central Florida for a couple days, give me a shout out and we'll hook up. All right? I like meeting you guys out there when we're on the road. It's cool. I'm actually one of those hosts, one of the few. Most people in our business want nothing to do with you guys. But I'm actually the guy that I have no problem. I like meeting people. I like getting to know people that support the show and stuff like that. So I'm a little different. I'm a little bit more sociable. You know what I mean? So let's see. My wife loves Publix fried chicken so much that we often have to stop there on the way to our hotel from the airport. Publix chicken is solid, dude. Publix does a great job overall. They really do. They really do. It's, you pay a little extra, obviously, because they go the extra mile. But you want to save a little money, you can go to Aldi's. I get it, but Publix does it right, man. Overall, they do it right. That's why they are what they are, man. They've maintained a standard. It's hard, but they've done a really good job of maintaining that standard in Publix overall. Air frying is the best way to cook food, frozen food. It makes it crispy. That's what Dolphin Dave says. Ted says there's a Crystal still in Jacksonville. Well, there you go. When I see Ocala Joe, when I go up there, all right, and Ho Yoon, I wonder if Ho Yoon, if he's listening right now, is he a Crystal guy? Because we met at a really good breakfast place. The Daybreak place, right? What's it called? Daybreak or whatever it's called. That first watch. That is the best breakfast there is in town. Okay. First watch is top notch. First watch. But so I got to convince Ho Yoon to go to a Crystal's next time I go. I don't know if Joe and Lourdes are going to go for Crystal. They may have to sit there and watch me eat Crystal. So I don't know. Ho Yoon, you got to tell me. You up for some Crystal? Because now that you told me the next time I go to Jacksonville, the next time I go to Central Florida, I'm hitting Crystals. That's for sure. Actually, I think they have a White Castle also in Central Florida. You lucky bastards out there. Lucky bastards. We finally got what we want, says Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker. A burger in Columbia, Tennessee. My youngest loves them. Oh, you're talking about In-N-Out? Yeah, man. You win. You win. Nashville's a beautiful place. I saw yesterday the video of the new Nashville football stadium that opens up next season. And, man, that thing looks amazing, dude. Amazing. Wow. Pretty impressive, dude. Nice. It's like 60,000 and they're like it's like close. It's apparently they claim to be the closest seat stadium in the league. But it's a killer design. The outside's like a box, but it has it doesn't look like the Amway place in Orlando that's ugly. It's really well designed, where it has features that you can see from inside out and all that. It's really cool. I saw a video yesterday. Very impressive, the stadium that they're building in Nashville. So those of you that either live in Nashville, you win, or us Dolphin fans that you guys hit the road sometimes, when you go to Nashville, you're going to be able to enjoy that stadium. That's a very cool stadium. I really was impressed with Seattle. 2 years ago when we went, I had never been to that stadium, and I always heard about it. What a fantastic stadium that is. That is a really cool stadium. You people in Seattle are very fortunate. Very nice. Very nice. NorCal says, Big O, hanging out with you in Seattle was a lot of fun. The burger was terrible, though. Oh, man. Let's see. Chad says Scarlett's, Flanagan's, and a chicken tender sub from Publix for the SoFlo experience. Oh, Lourdes concurs that air fryers are the way to go, says RCA Life. Well, Lourdes will know more than I will. I'm an idiot when it comes to cooking. But I know my daughter like swears by the air fryer over the microwave. No, don't microwave it. Let's air fry it. She'll do it. If she sees you sticking something in the microwave, my lazy ass does that. But if she sees you stick, no, Dad, don't do that. Use the air fryer. It's better. It'll come out better. She's right. I just never know how much time do I preheat it, and then what do I put in it. It's confusing. I got to get good at that stuff. I'm terrible with that stuff. Culver is my new go-to fat. Everybody loves Culver. I have never had Culver, and people say they swear by Culver. Shake Shack, I like their chicken sandwich more than their burger. You know that? Ted? That's the weird part about Shake Shack. I like their chicken sandwich a lot. Their burger is I'd rather have BurgerFi than Shake Shack. Actually. What else? My son's oven has air fryer features. That's it. That's badass, I guess. Yeah, well, Chick-fil-A, I'm a huge fan of Chick-fil-A. Too much of a fan of Chick-fil-A. Oh, when you come to the PSL, need to hit up Culver's right off of 95 and exit 118. Okay. I got to try it because everybody brags about Culver's. Everybody loves Culver's. I always hear about it. So yeah, that is definitely one that is on the bucket list. It's a fast food joint that I haven't tried yet. All right. What else do we have to talk about? Oh, you know what? I have not done music. Let me do a little music here real quick, since we have been keeping it on the light side on a really slow day. And I appreciate all of you tuning in and liking the show and commenting and donating and all that stuff. I really appreciate it. Thank you all out there as always. I know it's not an easy time right now. It's kind of lame what's actually going on. All right, let's start off with musicians celebrating birthdays today. All right. Let's go. Here we go. Musicians and entertainers and all that kind of good stuff born on this date. Oh, I love Burns. Ted, don't start. I'll get in a car right now and drive over there for a damn steak. Have a Chateaubriand there. All right, here we go. Victoria Beckham, born in 1974. A businesswoman, fashion designer, model, singer, Posh Spice, Spice Girls, all that good stuff. Redman, born in 1970. Celebrating birthdays, Liz Phair, singer, songwriter, born in 67. James Keenan from the rock band Tool. I know NorCal loves that. Keenan was also a member of Perfect Circle and Pussifer. Pete Shelley, I'm Homo sapien like you. Pete Shelley, born in 1955, English singer, songwriter, guitarist from the punk rock band The Buzzcocks. That's it. And then he went on his solo career, and he had a video that's called Homo Sapien. Go search for that video. Just, when MTV started in the early 80s, they started with I don't know the exact number, but I want to say it's 150 videos. They didn't have a lot of videos. So they had to play the same videos over and over a lot of times. One of the videos they had was Pete Shelley's video. Okay. He had just gone solo, left the Buzzcocks, and he had this song called Homo Sapien. And it's just a weird, back in those days, there were just weird videos and weird songs that would come on, and Homo Sapien was one of them. Just like fish heads, roly-poly fish heads, eat them up, yum. So weird videos. When you watch the early days of, if you're old enough and you lived the early days of MTV like I did, you saw those weird-ass videos. Pete Shelley was one of them. Michael Sembello. She's a maniac on the floor. In 54, he was born. And again, great movie. And Jennifer Beals, what a smoke show. Jan Hammer, born in 1948, Miami Vice theme. Ray Estrada, bassist with the Frank Zappa Band and founding member of Little Feat, born in 1943. Don Kushner. Tonight on Don Kushner, we're going to have a band from Australia named the Little River Band, followed up by a talented group of young men named the Jackson 5. Don Kirshner, American music publisher, talent manager, and songwriter. Kirshner helped launch the careers of Neil Diamond, Bobby Darin, Carole King, Neil Sedaka, the Archies. Kirshner was hired, also the Monkees, was hired by the producers of the Monkees to provide hit-worthy songs to accompany the television program, and also served as a music consultant for almost 24 TV series from 66 to 77. He died in 2011, January 17th. He was a monster. Okay? Dude knew his shit. All right, let's go with other famous people born on this date. And remember, if I don't give you an age, that means they have passed away, unfortunately. Industrialist and financier J.P. Morgan, born in 1837. Actor William Holden, born in 1918. Actor David Bradley, born in 42. He is 84. We go with musician. No, I'm sorry. I already mentioned him. Filmmaker Adam McKay, born in 68. He's 58. Actress Jennifer Garner, born in 72. She's 54. What's in your wallet? Let's see. Actor Rooney Mara, born in 85, 41. Musician Deacon Fry from the Eagles, born in 93. He's 33. That is Glenn Fry's son, Deacon Fry, and he does some of the Glenn Fry songs in the Eagles. He doesn't do them all because the country singer, now I'm brain farting, but he does some of them too. I'm forgetting now. But Deacon, by the way, does a really nice job singing like his dad. He actually does a pretty damn good job overall. And that is musicians born on and entertainers born on this date of April 17th. Now we move on to music history, because I know you want to know what happened today in music history. And we start off in 78, where Willie Nelson released his 22nd studio album, Stardust. It features the singles Georgia Is Always on My Mind and Blue Skies. In 80, Bob Marley and the Wailers performed at and were official guests of the state of Zimbabwe's Independence Festival. Marley described the occasion as the greatest honor of my life. In 81, The Cure released their third studio album, Faith. It features the singles Primary and Charlotte Sometimes. God, both amazing songs. In 82, Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force released Planet Rock. It's the show shot, said Planet Rock. The first hip-hop hit with electronic elements and a rhythm powered by a Roland TR-808 drum machine. It's just the third rap song. It's just the third rap song to reach the Hot 100 following Rapper's Delight by Sugar Hill and These Are the Breaks. Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. Curtis Blow. And what else? What else? In 2006, a big budget Coca-Cola commercial with a song by Jack White called Love is the Truth hit YouTube, then quickly went away. In 2007, Nine Inch Nails released their fifth studio album, Year Zero. It features the singles Survivalism and Capital G. In 2009, Morrissey walked off stage during his set at the Coachella Festival in California after declaring that he could smell burning flesh. He's such a weirdo. A strict vegetarian, Morrissey was reacting to the smoke coming from nearby barbecues. I love his music. He's phenomenal, but yeah, he is one odd dude. 2009, Depeche Mode released their 12th studio album, Sounds of the Universe. It features Wrong and Peace. 2017, Prince made his final public appearance when he appeared briefly on stage during a Paisley Park After Dark dance party in Chashassin. He performed Chopsticks, an unnamed instrumental piece on his custom purple Yamaha piano, and then showed a 30-minute clip from his piano and a microphone concert in Atlanta recorded just 3 days earlier. Prince can do whatever he wants. All right, let's see if there's any birthdays that weren't on the other list. And they're here. Africa Bambaataa is 69 today. I don't think that said it on the other list. It was just talking about in this list about what happened with Africa Bambaataa, but it's actually his birthday today, and he's 69 today. Bless him. Still with us. Good for him. And Genesis Owusu is 28. Don't know who he is, but I know that he's a musician. Somebody out there may know him. Somebody may be a fan out there. All right, what else do we have here? Sadly, we just lost. We did lose Africa Bambaataa? Oh, wow, because it says he's 69. Wow, we did? Damn, that sucks. Maybe I read it and I didn't know. And I forgot about it. Let's see. Yeah, dude, he died April 9th. That's why they haven't updated it. He just died a few days ago at 68, so he's not 69, unfortunately. Wow, I didn't know that. At least that, or maybe I overlooked it or didn't see it, but I did not know that we lost him. Damn it. Lance Taylor is his real name. Africa Bambaataa. That's a song that just is, that's a foundational song to hip hop. You know, when you start talking about one of the foundational songs in the history of hip hop, Planet Rock, dude. Planet Rock. It's right up there with Rapper's Delight, for sure. Oh, yeah. And The Message? Yeah. These are like songs that they're in the pinnacle of that genre, because that's the kind of stuff that put it on the map, on the charts, in the clubs, everything, in the streets, everything. Yeah. So bless Africa Bambaataa. That man left one hell of an impact in life, in music. Great vision. And that's the always appreciate shit like that. Okay? Always appreciate the beginning of anything, because it didn't exist before they did it. Somebody had to come up with surf music. And then they did it. Somebody came up with psychedelic rock. Somebody came up with punk. Somebody started metal. Somebody started electronic. Somebody started rap. And before they start, that's why when I hear people bash the Beatles, I'm like, you don't get it. Like, that didn't exist before them. This came out of their minds, out of their souls. For them to create this and put themselves out there and say, here, world, here's something you've never heard before, because to me, this is music. And then it becomes music to you. You know how special that is? You know what it is that you're the B-52s, and somehow or another you write some song called Rock Lobster. And somehow you think that's music. Boom, 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 and you start like, and it just stuff that it like you would have never thought, and then it becomes music. So never, ever overlook the people that start every genre of music. They're geniuses in their own right. For Rappers Delight to do what they did, and Melly Mel and all these other people at the beginning and all that, it came from nowhere. There was no inspiration to it. Nobody told them how to do this. They just out of nowhere created it, out of the blue, out of their minds or hearts. That to me is the most special part about anybody that starts a genre of music. Because you're starting something new that nobody's ever heard of, and you don't even know if you're going to be accepted. And not only is it accepted, it's super embraced. It's cool. It's a really cool honor for anyone to be able to do those kind of things and achieve that. When Kraftwerk made electronic music for the first time and did Trans, Europe, Express, and it just exploded. Nobody had heard anything like that. All of a sudden, it's in discos, it's in skating rinks, it's on the radio, it's everywhere. And who the hell thought that was going to be music? Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, it's just like, what? Huh? Never, never underestimate those kind of people. Appreciate the hell out of those people, because what they created never existed before, and all of a sudden they created a brand new genre of music. That is super impressive. Oh, what else here? 80s rap and freestyle was the best. Yes, 80s rap and freestyle was just absolutely amazing. Big O, you got to listen to Bill Murray. Okay. I wrote it down now. It's very cool, and I still don't know what genre to put them in. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. When somebody comes up with a new genre of music and it's like, oh, wait a minute, and I'm that person is saying, this is music now. Here, you taste it, you try it. What do you think? And then it catches on. It's impressive. Like punk. A lot of people don't like punk. A lot of people love punk. It's kind of the way it goes. You know what I mean? And somebody thought that was going to be great music, and it ended up becoming great music, and it ended up becoming a staple of our lives. The Ramones are something that is kind of passed on to every kid, every generation. So, yeah. All right. Wow, we did over 2 hours. I don't know how we did that. I have no idea. Anyway, we thank David Furones. Appreciate all of you for tuning in. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there and enjoy it, man. Just go Inter Miami, since we got at least a little soccer over the weekend. Don't forget, hit the like button. Smash that like button. Hit the like button on any of the other segments. We shall see you on Monday. Same time, same place. Same bat channel.
is the Big O Show.